My name is Matthew Rooke. I'm a composer. I'm the composer of Tamboo-Bamboo, and I'm about to do the RSNO's quick-fire questions. What inspires you to compose? It's not really inspiration. It's inescapable. That's a problem. Things come into your mind. You can be at the garage, paying for fuel, and just the noise that the keypad makes when you're punching it in, sometimes that suggests a melody. What is the best piece of advice you have ever been given? My orchestrating and arranging teacher is an American called Richard Evans. And he said, Matthew, you got to remember. He says, that ain't an orchestra out there. He said, that's a jungle. And it's got all kinds of creatures there. And some of them come up to you and they go, whirr. And he says, and then other ones, they just come up and they go, sss. And that was Richard's advice about being on sessions. Now, obviously, the RSNO is an orchestra which is just full of lovely, cuddly pussycats. But that piece of advice is always be aware of the fact that you've got these really highly trained people. What is your best tip for aspiring composers? Find people to play your work. Anybody. There are people who are passionate about music. They may not be people who are doing music for a living. And in fact, they might actually have more time for you. So to be a composer is to be somebody who's actually having work performed. Who knows your composer if no one's heard your music? So find out the people who are doing things with music. And in my own experience, you just have to be in the swim. Don't say no. Find people and find out what fascinates them about music and working, and try and get your work performed and played. You don't have to have a license to be a composer. What do you love about composing? These ideas arrive, these little nuggets of ideas. Sometimes you can't escape them. Sometimes they go on for years and years. And then it starts turning into a game and an adventure, and then you're trying things out. But what also happens is that things suddenly emerge that you hadn't thought of before. So that's what I really enjoy. What is the first album that you bought? I can tell you what the first album was that I bought. It was an album of Tchaikovsky. It was the Capriccio Italian and the 1812 Overture. Who is your favourite composer? I'm going to speak the love that often in contemporary music circles dare not speak its name. And it's Elgar. There are many, many composers who are wonderful, but if you said to me, Matthew, it's your last night, what are you going to put on? Elgar 2.